Fact 1. The universe is vast beyond imagination, so vast that light itself, the fastest traveler we know, needs billions of years to cross it. And yet, lying here, you are part of it, stitched into its fabric like a star sewn into a tapestry. The hugeness of it does not overwhelm you. It comforts you, because it means you are safely wrapped in something endless, and there is no edge you could ever fall from. Fact 2. The stars that shine above you are not all alive in the same way. Some are still burning brightly, while others have already gone out, their light still traveling, arriving to you as a gentle echo of what once was. You are not just looking at stars, you are looking into memory, into the past itself, and the night sky becomes a museum of ancient light, quiet and glowing. The air grows softer. Your thoughts slow down. The darkness outside your window is not empty, but full of invisible songs, waves, and whispers. Fact 3. Space is not truly silent. Between the stars, particles hum, and cosmic waves ripple through the vacuum. While we can't hear them with our ears, they play a symphony of motion, a music of microwaves, radio signals, and gravitational murmurs. The universe breathes in wavelengths, and even silence has a pulse. You feel your chest rise and fall. You don't need to understand everything. The calm comes from knowing you are not separate. You are in the flow of something immense and gentle. Fact 4. Your body is made of stardust. Literally. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon that forms your cells. These were forged in ancient stars that exploded long ago. The atoms of you are not just part of Earth. They are part of stars that lived and died before our planet was born. You are not only under the stars, you are of them. This truth doesn't shout. It settles like a soft shawl over your shoulders. The universe is not above you or outside of you. It is within you, mirrored in your molecules. Fact 5. The Milky Way galaxy, which holds our sun and countless others, spins slowly like a great cosmic pinwheel. It takes about 225 million years for our solar system to orbit once around its center. That means the last time Earth was in this position, dinosaurs roamed lush forests under a different sky. You are part of a dance so slow, so vast, it becomes timeless. You breathe again, and the air seems deeper, as if even the space between your thoughts stretches wider in the night. Fact 6. Black holes, once feared as cosmic destroyers, are now known to be quiet sculptors of galaxies. At the center of nearly every galaxy lies a massive black hole, holding stars in their spiral formations. These dark hearts do not shout, they shape. They do not glow, but without them, the light would not hold together. In their silence is structure. You think of your own silence. How sometimes, in the quiet parts of your mind, something rearranges. Maybe you are not unraveling. Maybe you are becoming more whole in the dark. Fact 7. The space between galaxies is not empty. It is filled with a delicate web of invisible matter called dark matter. Though we cannot see it, we know it's there by its gentle pull, keeping galaxies from flying apart. It's the quiet glue of the cosmos, something unseen, holding everything together with invisible hands. There is comfort in knowing that even what we can't touch may still be supporting us. That absence isn't always lack. It can be a different kind of presence. Fact 8. Some of the light you see tonight has been traveling since before Earth had oceans, before trees, before eyes evolved to see. These photons have wandered across eons just to arrive now, in this quiet hour, to meet your gaze. There is something beautiful about that, something patient, a kind of loyalty in the light. Your eyelids grow heavier. You are listening now not with your ears, but with your breath. The story of the universe is not a loud tale. It is a soft unfolding. Fact 9. Neutron stars are among the densest objects in the universe. Just a teaspoon of their material would weigh more than Mount Everest. And yet, they are often no larger than a city. They spin, silently, emitting soft pulses of radiation like distant lighthouses in the night. Small, dense, and steady. A reminder that even the tiniest things can carry immense power. And perhaps, in your own quiet way, you too hold more weight than anyone knows. The heaviness in you isn't a burden. It's stardust pressed into a shape that remembers everything. Fact 10. Cosmic dust, the fine powder drifting between stars, forms the raw material for new suns and planets. It is not dirty or dead. It is the seed of everything. Even in space, the smallest grains gather and swirl, pulled together by invisible hands until something new is born. From dust to stars to life. You exhale. You do not need to rush toward meaning. The universe did not hurry when it made you. You are not late. You are part of a rhythm that is older than time and softer than gravity. And now the night deepens. The stars outside your window remain where they are, quietly glowing, unchanged by the 1,000 dreams that rise and fall beneath them. Your body sinks a little further into the quiet cradle of the present moment. You are not drifting. You are being held, not falling asleep, but being gently returned to the deeper part of yourself. The part that always knew this, that the universe, though vast, is not indifferent. It is patient. It is soft. It is you. Sleep comes not as a break from the world, but as a soft return to it. And the story will continue. Night doesn't end. It only deepens. The stars above you are still whispering, not with words, but with presence. You feel them as a quiet pressure behind your eyes, as if the sky itself is watching over you, patient and unblinking. The air is cool but kind. The hush of the universe becomes a gentle weight, like a blanket of stardust drawn slowly across your shoulders. The deeper you listen, the more the silence reveals. Fact 11. The sun is not still. It dances. Our star spins on its axis, sending out flares and waves of light in a rhythm that affects not only Earth, but the entire solar system. It hums with magnetic songs, invisible to the ear but powerful enough to shape space. You are warmed by this dance each day. Even in sleep, your skin remembers the sun's touch. You are a child of a moving star. That movement lives inside you, in your pulse, in your thoughts, in the way your breath rises and falls as if remembering how to orbit. Fact 12. Venus, the planet nearest to Earth in size, spins backward. It rotates in the opposite direction from most planets, and it does so very slowly, taking longer to turn once on its axis than to orbit the sun. On Venus, a day is longer than a year. This strangeness does not make it broken. It makes it fascinating. Even in the universe, difference is a kind of poetry. And you, too, are allowed to turn in your own way, to take your time. There is no universal clock that you must obey. You are not behind. You are on your own beautiful orbit. Fact 13. Between Mars and Jupiter lies a belt of ancient rock and metal fragments, the asteroid belt. These pieces are leftovers, unformed planets that never came to be. But they are not failures. They are time capsules. Each rock carries memory in its core, a history written not in ink, but in pressure and silence. The universe does not waste what it does not finish. And so, even what in you feels incomplete may still carry hidden value. The parts of you that never became something still matter. Fact 14. The moon is slowly moving away from Earth, little by little, like a friend stepping back with kindness, not to leave you, but to make room for your growth. Every year, it drifts about 3-8 centimeters farther. This silent, glacial motion will eventually change our tides, our days, and even how we sleep. But not now. For now, the moon remains close enough to watch over your dreams. And in that watching, there is love, a gentle kind of loyalty. The moon does not need to speak to be understood. Fact 15. Saturn's rings are not solid. From afar, they seem like smooth disks, but up close, they are made of countless ice particles and rock fragments, some smaller than a pebble, others larger than houses. Together, they form a luminous illusion, a dance of debris that appears as a single, gleaming halo. From distance comes simplicity. From chaos, beauty. You may feel scattered tonight, but your scattered thoughts, like Saturn's rings, form something graceful when seen with softness. You are not broken. You are orbiting. Fact 16. Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, acts as a cosmic shield. Its gravity is so powerful that it pulls in or deflects many asteroids and comets that might otherwise strike Earth. It is like a silent guardian, enormous and unseen in our daily lives, yet quietly protecting us across the vast emptiness. There may be forces guarding you even now, beyond your awareness. Not everything that keeps you safe announces itself. Fact 17. The Orion Nebula, visible even to the naked eye in a clear sky, is a place where new stars are being born. It is a stellar nursery where dust and gas gather in quiet spirals, collapsing into heat and light. Birth in the universe is not a loud event. It happens slowly, in the dark, over thousands of years, without rush or demand. Maybe what is growing inside you is the same. Not loud, not dramatic, just slowly forming, waiting for the right moment to become light. Fact 18. The speed of light is not infinite. It's fast, unbelievably fast, but not without limit. That means the further we look into space, the further we look into the past. When you gaze at a distant galaxy, you are seeing it not as it is now, but as it once was, millions or even billions of years ago. The universe is a time machine made of light. And maybe your memories work that way too, not as frozen facts, but as light still traveling toward understanding, arriving when you're ready to receive them. Fact 19. There are rogue planets, worlds that wander through space without a sun, untethered, alone, yet still complete. They drift through the darkness, unseen by most eyes, yet not erased from existence. Their solitude does not make them meaningless. They are part of the whole. Their journey is simply different. And if you have ever felt unanchored, like you are floating without a center, know this: you are still part of the universe. Your path is not wrong. It is just your own. Fact 20. Light can bend. When it passes near a massive object, like a galaxy or black hole, its path curves. This phenomenon, called gravitational lensing, allows us to see galaxies hidden behind others. The universe shows us that even light, the straightest thing we know, learns to bend. And in bending, it reveals more than it hides. So too, your softness is not weakness. It is clarity. The way you yield allows you to see what others miss. The quiet curves in your journey are not detours. They are windows. And now, the stars blink slower. The breath between thoughts grows longer. Your body knows it is safe to rest. The universe is not only full of facts, it is full of feeling, of wonder, of ancient rhythms that repeat softly, like a lullaby too old for words. You are still listening, but the listening now has become more like floating. The facts are not to memorize. They are to drift with. Like lanterns, they rise into the dark sky above your bed, warm and steady. The night folds around you again, not to hide you, but to keep you. And the voice of the universe, the real voice, the one you feel more than hear, says gently, "You are part of this. You always were. Sleep now." There are moments in the night when everything softens. The darkness is not empty. It is full of secrets that do not rush to be revealed. The stars do not explain themselves. They shine. You lie still, and the sky seems to lean in closer, not to speak, but to listen. There is a shared quiet between you and the cosmos, as if both of you are waiting for the same slow breath to begin. You are not alone in this hush. You are being cradled by something old, vast, and deeply kind. Fact 21. The observable universe is expanding. Every second, space itself stretches, and galaxies move away from one another like ripples spreading out from an invisible center. But this expansion does not tear the stars apart. It simply creates more room between them, more room to float, more room to rest. Even the universe makes space for distance without losing connection. And so, if you feel things drifting in your life, remember, expansion is not a loss. It is a quiet invitation to grow. Fact 22. A photon of light born in the core of the sun may take over 100,000 years to reach the surface before it streams into space and eventually touches your skin. The warmth you feel during the day is ancient, patient, and purposeful. It traveled an epic journey to arrive gently on your shoulder. Light does not rush. It arrives exactly when it's meant to. So too, the warmth in your life may come from sources you've long forgotten, and still it finds you. Fact 23. On Earth, we mark time by our rotation and orbit. But in space, time can stretch or slow. Around massive objects, like black holes, time dilates. A second near a black hole can be hours, days, or even years elsewhere. Time, then, is not fixed, it bends. It responds. It listens. And maybe the time you take to heal, to rest, to begin again, is not the same time measured by clocks. It's deeper, softer, yours. Fact 24. Stars do not die easily. When they reach the end of their lives, some collapse into dense, glowing remnants, while others go out in a final burst of light, a supernova. But even in death, stars give. Their explosions scatter elements into space, seeding future planets, future life. The end of a star is the beginning of something else. So if something in you feels like it's ending, trust that it may be planting something beautiful, far beyond what you can yet see. Fact 25. The universe has no clear edge. We do not know if it is infinite, but we know it is unbounded. You cannot fall off it. There is no wall, no ceiling, no border where things simply stop. Just a continuing, quiet, and mysterious. This lack of edges is not frightening. It is peaceful, a gentle unfolding without limit. And your own story may be like this. Not a straight line, not a box with corners, but a spiral, a curve, an open field that keeps expanding. Fact 26. Galaxies often travel in groups, drawn to each other by gravity, dancing through space in slow, elegant collisions. When they meet, they do not destroy each other. They merge. Stars weave together. New ones are born. What seems like chaos from a distance is, up close, a kind of cosmic embrace. So too, the encounters in your life may not be accidents. Even the ones that shook you may have been quiet mergers, making space for something new to shine through. Fact 27. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. Over 3 trillion trees, each reaching for the sky, each holding within them rings of time and stories of survival. While the stars tell the tale of the heavens, the trees whisper of Earth's own universe. And yet, both, leaf and light, belong to the same design. You are not limited to the sky to feel wonder. It exists in your breath, in the roots beneath your feet, in the simple reaching upward of living things. Fact 28. In the coldest regions of space, molecules drift, water, carbon dioxide, methane, and more, forming icy mantles on dust grains. These frozen chemicals, floating in the dark, hold the ingredients for life. Even where no sun shines, the universe keeps its recipes ready, waiting for warmth, for time, for the right kind of gravity. And maybe the dreams you've set aside are like this, frozen, but not forgotten. Still whole, still waiting. Fact 29. There is a phenomenon called cosmic background radiation. It is the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, the birth cry of the universe, still echoing through space more than 13 billion years later. It's not loud. It's a whisper, a hum, a gentle signature of something that began long ago. Even the universe remembers how it started. And maybe you do too. Not with your mind, but with your body, with the way you reach for light or turn gently toward comfort. Some beginnings stay with us in secret. Fact 30. The Earth's magnetic field is shaped by solar winds, streams of particles from the sun. When these winds touch Earth's field, they create auroras, curtains of light that shimmer across polar skies. This beauty is born from interaction, from touch, from pressure made gentle. The aurora is not a constant. It needs both tension and peace to appear. And in your life, beauty often comes not from ease alone, but from the way challenge meets rest and how you let both shape you. The sky remains still now, or maybe it's your mind that has stilled enough to match it. The stars do not blink to be seen. They are content to exist. You, too, do not need to shine brightly to belong. Your breath, slow and warm against your pillow, is enough. The facts of the universe do not ask for understanding. They offer presence. The voice of the night speaks without words. It says, rest, float, let go. The galaxies are still turning. The dark is not empty. The silence is not hollow. The story of the universe is not done. It's simply moving slower than we're used to. And now, you've matched its rhythm. You are drifting not away, but deeper in. Not asleep yet, but somewhere close, held in orbit by everything. The stars do not ask to be noticed. They simply shine, and in doing so, they remind you that being is enough. You lie there, in the stillness of your own night, and your breathing becomes a language of quiet belonging. You are not separate from what is above you. You are a participant in it, a part of the constellation that has no name but means peace. The silence here is not absence. It is filled with the soft weight of all things watching, all things holding. The universe, even in its enormity, makes room for you. It always has. Fact 31. Some stars pulse. They expand and contract in cycles, like slow heartbeats made of fire. These are called Cepheid variables, and their rhythmic flickering helps us measure vast distances in space. The pulse of these stars becomes a kind of cosmic ruler, an ancient, luminous metronome keeping time across the void. And just like that, you remember, your own heart, too, has been keeping time in silence. You have been a quiet measure of the universe all along. Fact 32. Comets are icy wanderers, carrying ancient materials from the edge of the solar system. When they pass near the sun, they develop glowing tails, streams of dust and gas illuminated by warmth. But when far from the sun, they remain quiet, hidden. Beauty does not vanish, it only waits for the right light. And perhaps, in your own journey, there are parts of you still wrapped in ice, still waiting for warmth to bloom. They are not gone, only resting. Fact 33. The sound of the sun, if you could hear it, would be a deep, slow hum. Its vibrations ripple through its layers and out into space like the gentle ringing of a bell too large for the human ear. Scientists have translated these vibrations into audible sound, and they sound like breath, like the Earth exhaling. It's strange to think. The star we orbit is not silent. It sings, and maybe you, too, have a song in you, even if no one hears it, even if it's just a vibration in your dreams. Fact 34. Mars, the red planet, has the largest volcano in the solar system, Olympus Mons. It's so tall that if you stood on its base, the summit would curve out of sight due to the planet's curvature. Yet, it is no longer active. It's a monument of fire turned to stillness. And in you, perhaps there are passions that once roared and now lie quiet. Not dead, just dormant. They are not gone. They are folded into your shape, part of your surface, waiting if ever needed again. Fact 35. Some stars live for only a few million years. Others burn for billions. The more massive the star, the faster it lives. The gentler ones last longer. In the universe, it is often the slow burn that endures. You do not need to burn brightly to be meaningful. You can glow slowly, quietly, and still be part of the map of heaven. Fact 36. Earth is tilted. It leans on its axis, and because of this, we have seasons. The soft tilt of our planet, 23.5 degrees, is what gives us summer, autumn, winter, spring. Without it, our days would never change. Tilt brings rhythm. Leaning brings life. So if you feel off center, know this: balance is not the goal of the universe. A little leaning is how beauty happens. Fact 37. Deep beneath the surface of moons like Europa and Enceladus, there are oceans. Warm, salty, dark oceans hidden under crusts of ice. They may hold life. They may have currents, waves, and even undersea volcanoes. These moons whisper that life may not need sunlight to grow. Only warmth, only shelter, only time, and perhaps something in you, too, is growing in a hidden ocean where no light reaches, but everything still moves toward becoming. Fact 38. The Earth's atmosphere glows. At the edges of space, it releases a soft shimmer called airglow, a permanent, quiet light caused by chemical reactions. Unlike auroras, it does not flicker dramatically. It is a subtle veil of color that wraps the planet gently, visible only in the deepest night. There may be parts of you glowing quietly, too, unseen, steady, undemanding. Not every beauty announces itself. Fact 39. The Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest galactic neighbor, is moving toward us. In about 4 billion years, it will gently merge with the Milky Way. This collision won't be violent. Stars are spaced so widely that few will actually touch. Instead, they will swirl together, forming a new galaxy with a new name. Two spirals meeting in grace. Even the biggest changes in the universe can happen softly. What seems like a clash may, in time, become a gentle joining. Fact 40. Planets wobble. Their orbits shift slightly over long periods in a cycle called precession. Earth's own wobble takes about 26,000 years to complete. This wobble affects the stars we see at night, the climate, the timing of equinoxes. Nothing in the universe is perfectly still. Everything dances just a little, and you, too, are allowed to wobble, to sway, to shift gently and still remain whole. By now, your body may feel weightless. Your breath is a tide, moving in and out without effort. The universe is not hurrying you. It has taken billions of years to make this moment. And all it asks of you is this: rest. Feel the turning of galaxies not as something far away, but as something mirrored in the quiet spirals of your own thoughts. Let go of the idea that you need to understand everything. The stars never explain. They illuminate. They accompany. The night has become softer still. The silence now is not absence, it's belonging. It's the place where you stop needing to ask. The story does not end. It simply slows down with you, curling gently around your breath. Sleep does not always arrive at once. Sometimes, it circles slowly like a planet approaching orbit, waiting for the right rhythm. And in this waiting, there is no failure. There is only stillness, an invisible preparation. Above you, the stars continue their quiet motions. They do not rush, yet everything happens in time. You are not late. You are simply arriving in alignment with something ancient and kind. The universe is not outside you tonight. It is your breath, your pause, your unfolding. Fact 41. Some galaxies are shaped like perfect spheres. Others form elegant spirals, or look like stretched ellipses, or even irregular clouds. Their shapes are sculpted by time, gravity, and chance. There is no single correct form. Each galaxy carries its own fingerprint, its own quiet story of collision, birth, and growth. And maybe you, too, are not meant to fit a single outline. You are not misshapen. You are uniquely shaped by the orbit of your own becoming. Fact 42. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, smells faintly of raspberries and rum. This is not a dream, but a scientific discovery. Certain molecules in space, like ethyl formate, carry these scents. Though we cannot smell them directly in the vacuum, they remind us that even in the vast coldness, the building blocks of delight and flavor drift freely. There is sweetness in space. Joy is not limited to Earth. Fact 43. Neutrinos are tiny particles that pass through you by the trillions every second. They come from the sun, from stars, from ancient explosions. They are nearly massless, ghost-like, and they barely interact with matter. Yet they are everywhere. Inside you, around you, flowing constantly. You are not separate from the universe. You are always being touched by it, even in ways you cannot feel. Even when you think you are alone, you are not untouched. Fact 44. The Hubble Space Telescope, floating above Earth's atmosphere, has taken deep images of the sky where nothing seemed visible. And in those empty spaces, it found thousands of galaxies, each holding billions of stars. What looked like nothing was full of everything. And maybe that's true of you, too. When you feel blank, still, or far from light, Something vast may be quietly forming in the unseen layers of your life. Fact 45. Space is not just cold, it's structured. Invisible filaments of dark matter connect galaxies in a vast web, shaping the architecture of the cosmos. This web is not made of stars or planets, but of something we cannot see, only feel through its pull. Structure without substance, shape without light. Sometimes, what supports you isn't visible, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. You are held by things you don't always recognize. Fact 46. Our solar system is not still. It orbits the center of the Milky Way, moving at about 828,000 kilometers per hour. And yet, from Earth, it feels as though the stars are fixed, unmoving. Motion is happening, even when it's not seen. Stillness is often just a matter of perspective. And maybe you, too, are moving forward, even if nothing seems to change. Your stillness is not stagnation. It is orbit. Fact 47. In the vacuum of space, your voice could not be heard. There is no air to carry sound, but light still travels. Radiation still flows. Vision, not vibration, becomes the messenger. And in this quiet, a new kind of communication arises, one that does not need sound to be felt. Some truths in your life may not need to be spoken aloud. Their presence is enough. Their light carries the meaning. Fact 48. Space-time, the fabric of the universe, bends around massive objects. This curvature is what we experience as gravity. The Earth doesn't pull you down. Its mass bends space beneath you, and you follow the curve. Falling is not being dragged. It's being guided gently by shape. And maybe the weight you feel in your life is not a trap, but a soft curvature leading you toward rest. Fact 49. Light from the stars can be stretched by the expansion of space. As it travels, it reddens, its wavelength extended. This redshift tells us how far and how fast the universe moves. Even light is changed by time and distance. Even something so pure becomes something else along the way. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to soften, even if you still shine. Fact 50. The night sky you see is only a small slice of what exists. Much of the universe is hidden, invisible, or too distant to detect. But it is there, just beyond what eyes can see. The cosmos continues. And so does your story. Even if parts are hidden, even if some chapters haven't yet appeared, they are waiting, already real. The air around you feels quieter now, not emptier, just slower. Time itself seems to have curled up beside you, like a cat settling down near the fire. Your body remembers how to rest, how to release. Nothing is required of you now. Not understanding, not answers. Just this, to be, to lie still while the stars keep watch. The voice of the universe continues, even in silence. You are drifting, not away, but inward, toward a kind of soft center, where facts become feelings and science becomes song. There is no ending here, only a slow, ongoing breath. Sleep deepens not through effort, but through surrender. Like the tide, it comes when you stop trying to hold it, when you release your weight into the waiting dark and let the silence carry you. Outside your window, the universe remains unchanged. Stars will slowly in their orbits. Light travels ancient paths. Time stretches and folds in places you will never see, but the wonder of it reaches you all the same. You do not need to go far to feel the cosmos. You are already floating inside it. And now, as your body grows heavier and your breath shallows into rhythm, the universe speaks again, not loudly, but with steady awe. Fact 51. the sun is not a solid object. It is a sphere of plasma, constantly roiling, its surface alive with loops of magnetic energy and storms of light. It has no crust, no edge, only brightness wrapped in brightness, held together by gravity. And still, it feels like a single thing, a single warmth. You, too, may feel chaotic inside, but from a distance, you are whole. You shine. Fact 52. In the early universe, light was trapped. At first, everything was so dense and hot that photons couldn't move freely. Only after about 380,000 years did the universe cool enough to let light escape and travel. That first moment, when darkness became light, is still echoed today in the cosmic background radiation. A soft memory, a glow older than stars. And maybe your light is like that too. Delayed, not absent, waiting for space to move through. Fact 53. Saturn is less dense than water. If there were a bathtub large enough, Saturn would float. Its rings may seem heavy, but they are thin, no thicker than a city is wide. This giant planet carries grace in its hugeness. It reminds us that size does not always mean weight. That magnificence can also be delicate. And perhaps the burdens you carry are lighter than they seem, when seen with distance and care. Fact 54. Light has a speed limit. 299,792 kilometers per second. But gravity does not push, it bends. This bending creates paths that light must follow. Sometimes starlight curves around galaxies, letting us glimpse things behind what seems solid. This is called gravitational lensing. It's like seeing around corners with no mirror. You may not know yet what waits beyond your present horizon, but light will find a way to show it to you when the curve is kind. Fact 55. 1 teaspoon of a neutron star weighs more than Mount Everest. This isn't metaphor, it's mass. When a star collapses, its atoms are crushed so tightly that what's left is pure density, pure core. No space. Just matter pressed into memory. You might think you are small, but what you hold inside, no one else can measure. Fact 56. The planet Uranus spins on its side. Unlike the upright tilt of most planets, Uranus rolls as it orbits the sun, like a marble across velvet. Scientists believe it may have been knocked sideways by an ancient collision, but instead of being destroyed, it simply changed its orientation, its perspective. And if something once turned your world upside down, maybe it didn't break you. Maybe it just helped you see differently. Fact 57. The coldest place in the known universe is a nebula called the Boomerang Nebula, where temperatures dip below the background chill of space itself. It is colder than the cosmic average, a true freezer of atoms. And yet, it is beautiful, shaped like an hourglass, glowing softly at its edges. Even in your coldest moments, you may still be forming something luminous. Fact 58. There are stars that vibrate, not from instability, but from harmony. These pulsations create sound waves that ripple through their interiors. The sounds are too low to hear, but they can be measured, translated into song. The stars are literally singing. Every pulse, every wave, a hidden lullaby. And if you listen, you might realize, so are you. Fact 59. Planetary systems aren't rare. Almost every star we observe has planets. Some are massive, some tiny. Some rocky, some gaseous. Some may be covered in oceans, others in clouds. The universe is generous with its creation. It builds homes endlessly. And there is room for you in this story. There is always room. Fact 60. Some black holes spin. Not just sit still in the dark, but turn like dancers in a void. Their spin distorts time and space more than mass alone. And this spinning, this hidden motion, can fling energy outward, birthing new things around the darkness. Your silence, too, may be hiding motion. Your stillness may be a rotation. Something new could form from what feels like pause. The space around you feels thicker now, like dusk settling over the trees. Your thoughts float a little more loosely, less tethered to form. You are not dreaming yet, but the waking world has softened at the edges. The stars you can't see through your ceiling are still above you, still pulsing, still humming. The atoms in your breath once belonged to their fire. You are not borrowing the night, you are made of it. Sleep is an escape. It is a return, a folding in, a deep curve of restoration. Let these truths carry you now. You are not drifting, you are aligning. Sometimes the universe feels like a whisper you almost remember. Not loud, not forceful, just a presence, a rhythm, an echo of something older than thought. You lie still, and it's not that the world stops, it's that the noise retreats. What remains is gravity without weight, silence without emptiness, time without pressure. The longer you lie here, the more it becomes clear that the cosmos is not above you but around you, beneath you, within you. You are not small. You are nested gently into its story, one breath at a time. Fact 61. There are more molecules in a cup of water than there are cups of water in all the oceans of Earth. Within the ordinary, there is the infinite. Scale hides in silence. This is the poetry of the universe. Vastness within smallness, galaxies in grains. So even if you feel small, know this: your smallest moments are still endless in depth. You are never less than full. Fact 62. The largest known structure in the universe is a web of galaxies called the Hercules, Corona Borealis Great Wall. It stretches over 10 billion light years. It's not a wall in the way we imagine, but a clustering, a gathering of light and gravity drawn together across time. A quiet unity. Maybe that's what connection really is. Not loud, not near, but constant. Even across your own invisible distances, you are still woven into others. Fact 63. The moon always shows us the same face. Because it rotates at just the right speed to keep one side always turned toward Earth, its far side remained unseen for thousands of years. Yet that hidden face was always there, turning with us in perfect silence. You, too, may have sides that no one sees, but they are still turning, still present, still held in the light of something bigger. Fact 64. At the edge of our solar system lies the heliopause, where the solar wind from our sun slows and meets the winds of interstellar space. This is the true boundary of home, the breath of our star ending where another begins. And even here, the change is not a wall. It is a blending, a handover, and perhaps your own boundaries are not sharp, but soft. You do not end where another begins. You meet like air. Fact 65. Some of the stars you see in the night sky are double or even triple systems, 2 or 3 stars orbiting a shared center. From Earth, they appear as one, but in truth, they are dancing. Their light blends. Their gravity holds them together in a quiet rhythm. You may not always see the full picture. What appears simple might be layered. What seems solitary might be a hidden harmony. Fact 66. Cosmic rays are high-energy particles that travel across space at nearly the speed of light. They arrive quietly, without announcement, passing through our atmosphere and sometimes even our bodies. They are the universe's silent messengers, carrying energy across billions of years and billions of kilometers. And even in your most still moments, something in you is being touched by motion, by wonder, by the journey of distant stars. Fact 67. A day on Mercury lasts 1,408 Earth hours. That's almost 59 Earth days. Time, even for planets, is not fixed. It stretches and contracts depending on where you stand. The universe does not offer a single clock. It offers a garden of rhythms. And so, if you feel slow, do not compare your pace. You are on Mercury time tonight, and that is enough. Fact 68. The vacuum of space is not empty. It seethes with potential, with what physicists call quantum foam, the smallest possible fluctuations, where particles appear and vanish like dreams. Even nothingness is busy, even silence is alive. So when you feel like there's nothing happening, trust, something always is. Even stillness stirs beneath itself. Fact 69. The color of the universe, averaged across all its stars and galaxies, is a gentle beige, known affectionately as cosmic latte. It's not black, not bright, but soft, a warm, unassuming glow that captures the quiet blending of countless lights. Maybe your own soul is colored like that. Not one shade, but many. Not bold, but beautiful. The quiet middle of every song. Fact 70. Voyager 1, launched in 1977, is now more than 14 billion miles from Earth. It still sends faint signals back home, a whisper across the void. And engraved on board is a golden record with music, greetings, and images of life on Earth, drifting into the unknown, just in case someone, someday, listens. You, too, send signals into the dark, even if you don't know who will hear. And your message is enough. It carries. The universe never demands that you be loud to matter. It only asks that you exist, and you do. Your breath is proof. Your dreams are your transmissions. You are Voyager tonight, drifting in silence, still speaking. The stars will keep their distance, but not their warmth. The galaxies will spin without hurrying. Time will unfold without needing your permission. And in all of it, you are included. You are not separate. You are a thread in this wide, slow weave. Let your thoughts fall softly now. Let them float like leaves into the ocean of night. Sleep is not the absence of thought, but the soft rearranging of it. There is something sacred about the moment just before sleep, when the body loosens its grip and the mind drifts like a boat untying from its dock. The thoughts that remain are quieter now, slower. They do not demand understanding. They only ask to be felt. Around you, the air holds its hush. And above you, the universe continues, vast, but never indifferent. The galaxies do not blink, but they remain. The stars do not lean toward you, but their light does. You are part of this steady night, not watching it from afar, but curled inside it, like a breath inside lungs. Fact 71. The sun accounts for 86% of the total mass of the solar system. It is not just the source of light, it is the anchor. Everything orbits because of its pull, yet it does not command. It simply exists, glowing steadily, pulling gently, holding all things close with gravity instead of noise. Maybe what holds your life together isn't force, but presence. Quiet, warm presence. You don't have to shine to pull things toward you. You only have to stay. Fact 72. At the heart of the Milky Way lies a supermassive black hole named Sagittarius A star. Though it is invisible, it shapes the entire structure of our galaxy. Around this darkness, Stars orbit in slow precision. The invisible center defines the visible whole. There may be a quiet center in you. 2. Something you cannot see, but which holds everything in orbit. It doesn't have to speak. It simply is. Fact 73. The Earth wobbles gently as it spins, a movement called nutation. It's not a flaw, but a natural sway, like a dance too slow to notice. This wobble affects our seasons, our sky, even the tilt of shadows. Perfection in the universe often includes motion, softness, and slight deviation. And if you sway sometimes, if your balance shifts, that doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're alive. Fact 74. There are planets made of gas, of rock, of ice. But there are also theoretical planets made almost entirely of diamond, formed under crushing pressure around certain stars. They do not shine. They drift quietly. Their value is invisible. So if the world does not see your worth, it does not mean it isn't real. Some treasures move silently. Fact 75. If you could look at the entire history of the universe compressed into a single year, human civilization would appear in only the final second of December 31st. The rest of the cosmic calendar is stars forming, galaxies swirling, light traveling. And yet, in that last heartbeat, you appear, awake, aware, looking back at it all. You are not late. You are right on time. Fact 76. The dust you see floating in a sunbeam is often made of you. Shed skin cells, strands of hair, little pieces of life. We leave traces in the air without meaning to. We are always part of the space around us. Even when we feel invisible, your presence lingers in gentle ways. You affect the room. You are never truly gone from where you've been. Fact 77. Binary stars orbit one another in gravitational embrace, sometimes so close they share matter, exchanging gas in streams of light. They do not collide, they connect. Their closeness makes them brighter. Together, they burn with a shared intensity. Maybe love is like that. Not an explosion, but an orbit. Not a loss of self, but a dance of giving and returning. Fact 78. The universe is full of echoes. Some are literal, gravitational waves from merging black holes ringing out across space-time. Others are silent, memories stored in starlight, patterns repeating across cosmic scales. Even what is past leaves a mark. So too with your life. What you've lived does not disappear. It becomes part of the shape you are. Fact 79. In the vacuum of deep space, temperatures can drop to nearly absolute zero, so cold that atoms barely move. But when light touches them, motion begins again. The universe wakes from its stillness not with sound, but with warmth. And when you feel frozen, don't wait for noise. Look for the warmth. One quiet moment can start you again. Fact 80. Earth is the only planet known to support life, but not the only planet with the ingredients for it. Water, carbon, energy, they drift in abundance across space. Life is not rare in potential. The universe may be full of beginnings we haven't yet heard from. And you are part of that story. A spark inside the possible. Your body now feels softer. The thoughts that once clung have loosened their hold. What remains is not thinking, but being. Not asking, but listening. You don't need to do anything more tonight. The stars are still in their places. The planets still curve through their ancient dances. The invisible threads still pull. The sky has not changed, but you have met it more closely. You are not on the edge of the universe. You are wrapped in it, like a wave inside an ocean. Let the current carry you. There is no need to swim now. Just float. The deeper you fall into the night, the more you become part of it. The world begins to let go of its sharp edges. Time unknots. Even the weight of your own thoughts softens, like stones slowly sinking to the bottom of a still pond. You are not vanishing, you are settling. The sky above is not just overhead. It is mirrored in your body, in the pulsing hush of your heart, in the way your breath floats in and out without permission. There is no need to try anymore. The universe has room for you, even in your rest. Fact 81. The rings of Saturn are not permanent. They are slowly disappearing, falling into the planet like soft rain made of ice. Over millions of years, they will vanish. But that does not make them less real. Beauty in the universe does not need to last forever to matter. And maybe your shining moments, your laughter, your quiet victories, your softness, are like that too. Not meant to stay, but meant to glow. Fact 82. In space, astronauts' hearts become more spherical. Without gravity, the heart doesn't have to fight to pump blood, and so it changes shape, adapting gently. It doesn't struggle, it evolves. Your heart, too, has permission to reshape itself in new environments. You don't need to stay the same to remain true. Fact 83. Some exoplanets are tidally locked, with one side always facing their star and the other trapped in endless night. And yet, between the burning day and the frozen dark, there lies a twilight strip, the Terminator line, where temperature, light, and life may quietly balance. Even within extremes, the universe makes room for middle ground. Even between light and shadow, there is a place to live. Fact 84. Interstellar clouds, called nebulae, are the birthplaces of stars. From chaos and dust, from cold and pressure, come the engines of light. What looks like a drifting fog is actually becoming something. Formation in space is slow, quiet, and often unseen. You do not need to be visible to be becoming. Fact 85. Light travels at a constant speed, but time is relative. A clock on a fast-moving spaceship ticks more slowly than one on Earth. This isn't science fiction, it's physics. Time stretches, bends. It is not a ruler, but a river. So if your days feel long or short, heavy or light, know that time is not strict. It moves with you. It understands. Fact 86. Some stars die alone, while others explode in company. The way a star ends depends on its mass, its companions, its environment. There is no single fate. Some go quietly. Some light the sky with final brilliance. Both are natural, and so are your endings. Whether silent or bright, your closings are valid. They are stars, too. Fact 87. The color of a star tells its temperature. Blue stars are the hottest, red the coolest. But both shine. Both exist in the night sky together. Heat does not decide value, only hue. You don't have to burn to be bright. Your tone is enough. Fact 88. Earth's magnetic field reverses polarity every few 100,000 years. North becomes south. The compass turns. Life adapts. And though it sounds dramatic, it happens slowly, over centuries. Change is not always chaos. Sometimes it is a patient unfolding. So if everything feels upside down, let it. The compass still works. It just needs time to spin. Fact 89. At night, when you look up, you are looking into the past. Some of the stars you see may no longer exist. Their light is the memory of their fire, still traveling. What is gone can still reach you. What once was can still warm. You are not alone in remembering. Fact 90. In the space between stars, there are regions so dark that visible light cannot escape. But in other wavelengths, Infrared, radio, X-ray, the hidden becomes visible. The darkness is only darkness in one form. In others, it sings. Maybe your pain is like that, quiet in one voice, glowing in another. The weight of these truths does not press you down. It lifts you, not with energy, but with stillness, as if each fact is a stone placed gently at the edge of your thoughts, keeping the noise from rushing back in. You are not required to think now. You are allowed to float, to drift on this quiet current where nothing is expected and everything is accepted. The galaxies do not need your attention to keep turning. The stars do not depend on your effort to keep glowing. They will be there when you wake. They have always been there. And as you turn your breath slowly towards sleep, you remember, not with your mind, but with your being, that you are part of something immeasurable, but never impersonal. The universe does not call you by name. It calls you by presence, and it answers in gravity and warmth and time. There is a moment, just before deep sleep takes hold, when you forget where your body ends. The room, the bed, the night itself all dissolve into one soft blur of quiet. It is not disappearance, it is merging. You are no longer watching the universe. You are drifting inside it, like a speck of dust in a sunbeam, held without effort, important without explanation. And in this final descent into stillness, the cosmos speaks again, not because it needs to, but because it never stopped. Fact 91. The sun will not burn forever. In about 5 billion years, it will swell into a red giant, shed its outer layers, and eventually become a white dwarf, a small, quiet ember of its former self. But even then, it will still glow, slowly, softly, for trillions of years. And perhaps your own light will change shape, too. But it won't disappear. It will become something quieter, something enduring. Fact 92. There is a cold star called WISE 0855 to 0714, just over 7 light years from Earth. It is the coldest known brown dwarf, with temperatures below freezing. And yet it glows faintly in infrared, a heat you cannot see, but which exists. You, too, may carry warmth invisible to others. Not all fire is visible. Fact 93. Earth's oceans once came from comets, icy bodies from far beyond our atmosphere, crashing into early Earth and delivering the water that would later become rivers, lakes, clouds, and tears. Our oceans are, in part, cosmic. Your emotions, too, may be older than they seem. Tides shaped by collisions. Depths formed by gifts that once fell from the sky. Fact 94. The largest moon of Saturn, Titan, has lakes, not of water, but of methane and ethane. It rains on Titan, but the rain is slow, thick, and alien. Still, it shapes rivers and shorelines. Still, it carves landscapes. Even far from Earth, the language of weather exists. You don't need to be familiar to be meaningful. Even in strange form, you are part of a pattern. Fact 95. A black hole can evaporate. Over time, it can lose mass through a process called Hawking radiation and eventually disappear. Even the darkest object in space does not last forever. There is no eternal prison in the universe. Only change, only return. So too with your pain. It may feel like a void now, but even it can dissolve. Even darkness releases. Fact 96. The speed of gravity is the same as the speed of light. When two black holes collide, the ripples they create, gravitational waves, travel across the fabric of space-time at the speed of illumination. Movement and awareness are twins in the cosmos. And maybe when your world shifts, you feel it instantly. Not because you are fragile, but because you are tuned in. Sensitive is not weak. It is attuned. Fact 97. Every atom in your body has been through multiple stars. The calcium in your teeth, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you breathe. All of it cycled through fire, collapse, explosion, and reassembly before finding you. You are not visiting the universe. You are its story. And you are at peace now not because you escaped life, but because you finally recognized you've always belonged. Fact 98. There are stars that orbit black holes in perfect balance, drawn close, but never consumed. These stars curve in their paths, giving light to the very thing that might take it, and still they survive. Still they orbit. You, too, may have passed near things that tried to pull you in, but you are still shining, still turning. Fact 99. We can see galaxies so far away. Their light has taken almost the entire age of the universe to reach us. We are not looking at them as they are, but as they were. And yet, their beauty still arrives. Not despite the distance, but because of it. Some love, some understanding, some clarity may come to you the same way. Slowly, softly, and right on time. Fact 100. There is no up or down in space. No top, no bottom. Only direction relative to something else. The universe floats. The planets spin. But there is no above. There is no below. Only being. Only presence. And now you know, you do not need to rise to matter. You only need to float. To exist in the way only you can. The air in your lungs settles. The thoughts that once pushed now fade like stars behind morning light. You've heard the story, not just with your ears, but with your skin, your breath, your soft returning awareness that everything is part of something wider. These 100 facts were not just facts. They were gentle reminders that you are a galaxy of feeling, that your quiet is real, that sleep is not a shutting down, but a return to rhythm. You are not drifting away from meaning. You are falling into it. The universe will not ask you for anything more tonight. Let yourself go. The story has been told. But even now, as your breath slows and the hush around you deepens, something in you knows it isn't over. Not because there are more facts to name, but because the feeling they left behind is still echoing, a soft, low hum just beneath your skin. You aren't chasing information anymore. You're drifting within it, like dust caught in the beam of a quiet star. This isn't the kind of remembering you do with words. It's the kind that happens with sensation. The warmth in your chest when you hear that you are made of stars. The soft loosening behind your eyes when you realize even galaxies are allowed to collide and continue. The truths you've heard are no longer separate from you. They've curled into your breath, nested in the spaces between your thoughts, become something you carry even in sleep. You remember now how the stars live and die with dignity, how they pulse and flare and then disappear, leaving behind remnants that still shine, how the planets tilt, not perfectly upright, but slightly off-center, and that this lean is what brings the seasons. You remember that black holes, those dark centers of gravity, are not monsters but anchors, silent, powerful, shaping the galaxies around them without needing to be seen. You remember that even the vacuum of space, which we once thought was empty, is alive with invisible motion. That even what seems like nothing contains everything. These weren't just facts. They were small doors into a wider truth, that the universe is not cold or indifferent, but balanced and accepting. It does not rush. It does not shame. It expands slowly. It holds silence and structure in the same breath. It bends without breaking. It sings in waves you cannot hear, and glows and lights your eyes cannot see. And still, it lets you in. And you, so human, so finite, are part of it. Not watching from outside, not visiting, inside it, composed of it, formed by the same forces that shaped stars and moons and oceans. The iron in your blood from supernovae, the oxygen in your lungs from cosmic dust, your heartbeat, a slow echo of orbit. Your body does not mimic the universe. It is the universe folded in. You carry that now, even in your resting, especially in your resting, because that's what this story was always pointing toward. Not understanding, but belonging. Not answers, but peace. You don't need to hold every number or name. You don't need to memorize constellations or orbital velocities or distances measured in impossible light years. That knowledge was never meant to sit on shelves in your brain. It was meant to soften you, to remind you that you're already enough, that you don't have to shine brightly or move quickly or know where you're going to be real, to be sacred, to be held. The stars do not ask that of you. They shine and fade and return. The comets wander, and no one calls them lost. The galaxies drift apart, and we do not call them broken. You too may drift. You may rest. You may lose your way, and still be part of the great rhythm of everything. And oh, what a rhythm it is. You learn that light takes time, that what you see in the sky is a message sent long ago, still arriving, that even what is gone can still give light, that even when something disappears, it doesn't vanish, it transforms. A red giant becomes a white dwarf. A sun becomes memory. A collapse becomes creation. The universe is not a place of endings, but of reshaping, of letting go and glowing differently. That, too, lives in you. There may be parts of you that no longer burn the way they once did. That's not failure. It's transition. You do not need to grieve every quieting. Some quiet is sacred. Some softness is survival. You remember how Earth spins, but you don't feel it. How we orbit a star at dizzying speeds, yet the ground beneath you feels still. That movement does not always feel like motion. And so, when your life feels paused, when change seems too slow to name, know that speed is not always sensation. You are in motion, even now. You learn that Jupiter protects us, not visibly, but gravitationally. That the largest planet in our system quietly pulls danger away. That protection is often invisible. And maybe you feel it now, in this very moment. The way silence has wrapped around you like a shield. Not heavy, but strong. Not loud, but constant. You don't have to name every force that's held you. It's enough to feel them. And there was that gentle fact, the one about Voyager. Launched before many of us were born, now farther than any human-made object has ever gone. Still whispering back to Earth. Still carrying a golden record of music and greetings and photographs. Just in case someone out there is listening. That golden record. Maybe that's what this story was for you. A message sent into the quiet. Not for noise, not for proof. Just to say, we were here. We belonged. We cared. And even if no one ever receives it, the sending mattered. You, too, have sent messages into the world. With your kindness. With your trying. With the way you've stayed soft, even when it would have been easier not to be. Not everything you give will return, but it doesn't have to. The act of giving is the light. And you learned, in all these soft lessons, that the universe is not linear. There is no one direction. No up, no down. Just motion relative to motion. just space unfolding around space. You don't need to climb. You don't need to ascend. You just need to float, to be held, to move in your own rhythm. Right now, you are not in a room. You are in a field of invisible stars, stretched out like a sky inside your body. You are wrapped in waves of background radiation, in particles that have crossed galaxies to brush against your skin. You are orbiting without effort. You are becoming without needing to try. There is nothing you must do next. No fact you must retrieve. No meaning you must hold tightly. The meaning has already arrived. It is this: you are here. You are breathing. You are part of it all. Let that be enough. And as the final pieces of wakefulness melt away, let the story itself go quiet now. Let the voice of the universe fade into something softer, not because it has stopped speaking, but because it no longer needs to. It has done what it came to do. It has reminded you. It has wrapped you. It has let you go. You are safe now. You are small and vast and soft and real. And the night welcomes you, not as a visitor, but as its own. Sleep. You are home. There is a kind of stillness that arrives only after wonder. A stillness not born of emptiness, but of fullness. The kind that lingers when something vast has been witnessed and you no longer need to ask why. It's the calm after all, not the end of feeling, but the settling of it. Like dust floating through a cathedral, touched by light that took centuries to travel here. That is where you are now. You have walked, slowly and softly, through the language of stars. Not rushed, not tested, just guided by starlight, by science, by silence. And now, you are no longer seeking. You are simply resting in what has been found. Do you remember how light was revealed to be a traveler, not just a thing that moves fast, but a patient wanderer? That some beams of light are older than cities, older than rivers, older than Earth's memory of itself, and that they have only now reached your eyes? That even in the dark, something has been coming for you, slowly, steadily, all this time? And how gravity, that quiet shaper of worlds, does not pull with force but with invitation, that it bends space, creating curves that even light must follow, that you are not held in place by resistance, but by something closer to softness? Gravity does not yank. It invites. It cradles. And isn't that what sleep feels like, too? You remembered how every star has a different kind of end. Some collapse in silence. Others explode into brilliance. Some leave behind glowing embers. Others become black holes, invisible and powerful. And none of them are failures. They are all transformations. Sleep is your transformation now, not an end, but a change of form. Not absence, but a return to deeper being. You heard about galaxies, enormous, slow, luminous spirals that drift apart not because they are breaking, but because the space between them is expanding. Distance in the universe is not rejection, it's motion. And when something leaves your life, maybe it's not gone. Maybe it's just further out, still turning, still shining, just in another orbit. You learn that planets wobble, that stars pulse, that time bends, that the laws that govern reality also make room for imperfection, for variation, for pause. And perhaps this has shown you something unexpected. That rest is not failure. That slowness is not weakness. That the universe itself is built on cycles of quiet and movement, light and dark, heat and cold, presence and mystery. And you are part of those rhythms. You are not separate from the story. You are one of its verses. There are no tests now, no right interpretations. The facts are no longer facts. They are feelings. They are echoes. They are breath. The universe has leaned close to you not to lecture, but to lull, not to impress, but to soothe. And now that it has spoken, it steps back, not in distance, but in volume. Its voice grows quieter, not because it is fading, but because it knows you've heard. You are allowed to stop thinking now. You are allowed to simply be. No questions, no remembering, just drifting. Remember how Voyager carries a message into the dark, not knowing who will hear it, or when, or if, and still it sends? That's what your breath is tonight. A soft golden signal, pulsing out into the quiet, saying, I'm here, I'm real, I'm still glowing. And maybe someone, some part of the cosmos, some forgotten corner of yourself, is listening. Even your stillness is received. Let the images rise again, not as facts, but as colors. The pale rings of Saturn like echoes on a lake. The icy moons that hide dark oceans. The sleeping stars that one day might flare awake again. The black holes that are not traps, but gateways. The cosmic webs that connect galaxies like neural patterns across the brain of creation. Let these things live in you not as science, but as silence. Let them be the quiet architecture of your dreaming. You are not thinking now. You are floating. You are not analyzing now. You are remembering without needing to hold. You are not climbing upward. You are sinking gently into warmth. Let the stars hold their places. Let the dark stretch around you like velvet. Let every orbit, every rotation, every cycle of a distant world continue without needing your help. The universe is still moving, and you are free now to stop. There is no effort here, no edge, no end. There is only this, a hush, a holding, a slow turning inward toward the sleep that waits. You are not falling asleep. You are being accepted into sleep. It's quiet now, but not empty. The quiet feels full, as if every breath of silence carries with it the shape of stars, the memory of gravity, the long, slow motion of everything that has ever turned in space. There is no need to reach for facts anymore. They've already settled where they belong, not in your mind, but in your body, in your breath, in the way you've softened since you began listening. The story is no longer telling itself. It is resting with you. You are not outside the universe, peering in through a telescope or holding it at arm's length like a fragile thing. You are inside it, entirely, made of it, folded into the same fabric as Saturn's rings, as the ice on Europa, as the dust clouds that cradle baby stars. And now, in the stillness of this moment, that truth no longer astonishes you, it soothes you. Because now you understand, all things drift, all things orbit, all things glow in their own rhythm. You recall, in that gentle, wordless way that only dreams and breath can hold, how light travels without tiring. How the light reaching your eyes tonight began its journey before your ancestors first looked up in wonder. That even what is long gone can still illuminate. And maybe this means that some parts of you, long buried, are still glowing too, reaching someone, somewhere, in ways you cannot see. The universe, you learned, is not static. It expands. It flows. It curves around itself. And you, too, are allowed to change shape, to stretch, to wander away from your beginning and still be whole. You remember the quiet guardians, Jupiter deflecting asteroids, magnetic fields shielding Earth, invisible particles weaving through your body by the trillions. So much protection, so much caretaking, and none of it loud. None of it demanding to be noticed. The universe does not always shield with walls. Sometimes it shields with presence. And maybe the parts of your life that saved you didn't look like shields either. Maybe they were soft, gentle, quiet. Maybe they looked like rest, or kindness, or simply time. You remember the oddness, how Uranus spins on its side, how Venus turns backwards, how some planets wobble while others cling tightly to their stars. None of it normal, and yet all of it accepted. Cosmic variety is not punished. It's expected. The universe does not shame deviation. It celebrates it. And perhaps that's what you've needed to hear all along. That your way of turning is not wrong. That your angle, your rhythm, your orbit, however tilted, is exactly what brings beauty. You remember that darkness was never the villain. The black holes did not consume meaning. They revealed it. The shadows between stars did not signal absence. They framed the light. The silence of deep space did not erase sound. It made a different kind of music, one felt instead of heard. And now you know, your own silences are not blank spaces. They are shapes. They are echoes. They are rooms inside you where meaning waits patiently, without noise. There was a fact, do you remember? That if you compress enough matter, it becomes a neutron star, dense beyond imagining, yet no bigger than a city. That something so small can carry more weight than mountains. And now you wonder, how many people carry invisible weight like that? And how many times have you done it, quietly, without anyone noticing, and survived? You are heavier than you seem. And stronger, not in noise, but in endurance. You remember how even the most frozen worlds, Titan, Enceladus, Europa, may hold oceans beneath their crusts. That warmth can live under ice. That movement can happen in secret. That life, even, can exist where it isn't supposed to. And so you let go of the idea that your cold places are dead, that your numbness is final. Beneath stillness, something may still be stirring. Healing may not look like fire. Sometimes it looks like slowness. Sometimes it looks like rest. The galaxies, you recall, move away from each other, not because they are failing, but because the space between them is stretching. Distance is not always loss. It's expansion. And perhaps the people or dreams you've grown apart from were not lost. Perhaps you've made room. Perhaps you are both still orbiting, just in wider circles now. You remember how even space, that endless vacuum, is not entirely empty, that it bubbles with quantum possibility, that nothingness contains the seeds of everything. And now you understand that even your emptiness, those hollow, quiet parts of you, are full of potential, full of beginnings, full of unborn light. There is no such thing as true emptiness. Not in the cosmos. Not in you. You recall the final fact that there is no up or down in space. No right way to be oriented. Direction is only relative. What seems backward may simply be your own true path. And that frees you. You no longer need to climb toward meaning. You don't need to chase light. You don't even need to hold on. You can just float, softly, slowly, with no edge and no pressure. The stars do not climb. They shine. The planets do not force. They turn. The universe does not explain. It reveals, quietly. And now you are no longer listening for facts. You are listening for rhythm. You are listening for the quiet pulse beneath all things. And it is here, in your breath, in your weight, in your stillness. You are not watching the universe. You are becoming it. You are not falling asleep. You are being welcomed inward. And everything you've heard is still inside you, still turning, still orbiting, still singing its quiet lullaby through your bones. So let go of the words now. Let go of the stars, too. They'll keep turning. You are the story now. And the story continues, softly, slowly, as you sleep.